And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the pre-show show.
Hello, hello.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. All right. 3 minutes was not enough time because I ended up doing a lot of typos tonight, so I'm still sharing. Dope. All right. So we have a pretty good show tonight. Tons of stuff going on. Obviously. I mean, it's, preview season and all sorts of funness. So, yeah.
It could always be preview season.
Huh?
I wish it could always be preview season.
I don't. Like, they put out enough content. They put out enough product as it is.
But I mean, they could stretch it out instead of like cramming it all in 2 weeks. They do like 1 or 2 cards a week. Say, hey, this is coming. Hey, this is coming.
Hey, look at that. Walter's in the chat. Steve, it looks like, is in the chat. So, can you see the chat? Oh, do you have to pull it up? Yeah, you. Or no, Discord. You're using Discord. That's right.
So, I gotta get used to doing that.
Yes, you do. So, all right. So we've got tons of stuff going over tonight. Hey, PlanesTalkers, Walter and Steve, don't forget Saturday night's call. Let me know if you guys can make it. So, all right. All right. So we've got that. We're good there. We're a live show. So I could switch to that. Bring up my recording software, which is up. Yeah, Jumpstart, I don't know if we're going to go nuts with. 6 o'clock Eastern.
There's going to be more.
Hey,
more
Tony.
reprints of that too.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting to say the least. Okay.
All in.
And Josh is in too. Josh is here. Man, it's like patron night. All right.
Yay.
All right. So I have my recording software ready to go.
I'm over the button.
You're over the button?
I'm over the button.
All right.
The shiny candy button.
Right. No kidding. All right. Let me see here. All right. I got to make sure I have the ad up. And all right. I think we're ready to go. So you ready? If I'm ready, if you are.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Click. It's not recording. 1 second. Stop recording. Huh. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, Jesus.
Abort.
All right. Delete. This new software I'm using, I mean, we lost our show last week. This may not be the software we want us to use from now on. I don't know yet. The reason I like it is it lets me record multiple tracks at once. Mm-hmm. So my sound is not going onto the same track as my voice. All right, I think we should be good now. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Click. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the PlanesTalkers podcast, a show by casuals for casuals. I'm your host, Will Benson, joined as always by my, hey, it's an awesome time to have summer co-host Aramis Perez. Aramis, how are we tonight, sir?
So many good reprints.
There really are. There's just a billion, so let's just get right to it. Okay, welcome to Untap, Upkeep, and Draw, and just like we like to do every week, the first thing we want to remind you guys of is that we are sponsored by Kerwin's Game Store in Catskill and Poughkeepsie. Kerwin's Game Store is New York State's premier source for collectible card games, tabletop games, miniatures, comic books, retro video games, and toys. With their clean, open gaming areas available to everyone at no charge, and even though they're open now for retail, limited, but they're not yet opening up the gaming area. But when they are, it's really the place to go. Kerwin's provides a fun and inviting atmosphere for new and experienced gamers alike, with locations in both Catskill, New York, and now on the second floor of the Poughkeepsie Gallery in Poughkeepsie, New York. Kerwin's Game Store is the best place in gaming. Now, they do have a new streamlined, really, really good website. You can find them online at www.kgsonline.com. That's kgsonline.com. And don't forget, if you use the promo code PlanesTalkers2020 at checkout, you're going to get 5% off any online order. So that includes your pre-order boxes, people. So we also want to take a second to recognize our Planeswalker level patrons. We do have our call this week, Saturday night. I sent you guys emails. We do a conference call with them every 90 days where we're going to talk about things going on in the show. They get to give us some, feedback and help direct the direction of the show. Direct the direction of the show. And they also tell me to look in the dictionary under redundant to see redundant. So, but we do want to recognize Anthony, Steve, Ian, Walter, George, Josh, and Zach. They really do help the show in great many ways. We've drawn for all of our events this month. Oh, we haven't drawn for June. I do have to draw for June. We didn't play May. Boy, we've got to get on the stick on that. So
backlogged.
Huh?
We're still backlogged.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the Wednesday show is we'll talk about that Saturday, because the Wednesday show is it's more fun. I don't know. We'll talk about that. So if you want to get into these drawings, what you want to do is go to patreon.com/planestalkers. In addition, we have started a second companion cast. We haven't really named it yet. I don't want to call it Commander Cast because I think somebody has that, but it's basically us playing Paper Commander with you listeners. So if you want to get in on that, simply become a patron at any level, patreon.com/planestalkers. So we are in the untap phase, and tonight I am untapping The Kind India Pale Ale. And it's invisible, so
Barely see it.
Yes, it's barely see. Well, it's a light beer, so
you could say it's phasing in and out of existence.
Right.
Ooh, foreshadowing.
So, nice, and there's not a lot of hops in this one, so it's pretty good. But yes, we do have a ton of stuff going on. But how are you doing tonight, man? What's going on with you? What's new and exciting? We're in our untap phase, so
Untap phase. Things are going good. Played a few more drafts. I'm now gem and gold broke on Arena because I did not do well.
Ooh.
So I have to see what how the meta settles in standard. I guess I'm gonna have to play some constructed here.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in the state of the standard tonight because the meta is I think this is one of the times where banning didn't help. In fact, it just kind of made it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. I did play a lot of constructed this weekend. I played a lot of historic. Actually, you know what? I'm coming around on historic because, we're getting right towards a new set coming out. The standards we just had a banning which changed things, but standards figured out. So it gets a little bit like, oh look, it's sacrifice again. But historic, it's, oh, look, it's Winota again. Oh, but I'm playing Winota, so okay. But not anymore. Spoiler alert. But so we've got tons of stuff there with that. But let me go over what we're talking about tonight. We're going to be doing our Core 21 previews, obviously. If you're listening to any podcast this week about Magic, that's what you're going to hear. We're no different because we're a bunch of posers. So we're going to go on from there. We're going to talk about our state of standard, especially post-ban, because there has been a severe shift. And when I say severe, I mean holy cats. Then combat tonight, we're going to talk about usual standard. Combat is, best card so far that we've seen. Then main 2, we're going to talk about the Winota suspension. Obviously, they've suspended Winota in historic. And then we're actually, Reed Duke put out a tweet earlier tonight about Wizards has actually made a rule change so that during these online player tournaments, that ghosting and stuff. So we got tons. We've got emails to read. We've got iTunes reviews to read. I think he says as he checks his phone. So we've got a ton of stuff to go over. And so, let's just go ahead and get ourselves right into it.
Main phase.
All right, main phase. Welcome to main phase. So, yeah, we had we've got some previews. We've got some. Huh?
They've dumped a lot of cards. They've dumped a lot of cards already.
They it's the standard amount of cards that they tend to dump at this time of year, really. But yeah, I mean, I'm really liking what they're doing. So far, I'm seeing quite a few things. So what have they spoiled? They've spoiled 113. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've spoiled. I'd say a little more than half of the mythics.
Right.
and a lot of the rares, and just a bunch of other cards. But there's some this core set. I was right. Remember I said last that core set 2020 didn't feel like a core set, but that core 21 was going to be like, hold my beer.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Crap.
And that's just it. It's almost like they're kind of flipping it on its ear. They're making the core set more relevant, and it's almost like the second set in a rotation season. Like, so this year it was Theros. The last year it was crap. What was it last year?
Probably Ravnica Allegiance.
Yeah, it was Ravnica Allegiance, which Ravnica Allegiance did have some, but I mean, it doesn't warp as much as it just kind of supports things going on. I've seen that. I've been saying that lately, that it looks like, these things are kind of, that they're really pumping more into the core than they are the second set of the year. It'd be interesting to see if that happens again next year. And we still haven't gotten an announcement. We haven't gotten a roadmap yet, which is very unusual. Usually by core, we get a roadmap of this is core, and then, we're going to have this whatever. Like last year, right before core, during preview season, they're like, it's going to be core set 20, and then Throne of Eldraine, and then you're going back to, Theros, and then we're going to do, this Rise of Zendikar net, or the whole 9 yards. So
they might wait until closer to Zendikar to announce it.
Probably, because I don't think they know when anything's going to happen. I think it sounds to me like they're still digging out from COVID funness. So
well, I mean, this set's being released on time, so
yeah,
that part of it's fine. I don't think the research and development.
Well, no, but it would impact stuff down the road. I could see them being like, well, we always have an extra month at the end of the year. Like,
well, they say they work 2 years ahead. So they say the set you see in 2 years is going to be the set they worked on during COVID.
Okay.
So we have to wait until like 2021, 2022 to really see what it was.
Okay, so you know what? Well, let's get into this. I mean, we've got the core set, so I'm going to switch our screen here, and I'm on. By the way, Scryfall.com is where we're using tonight, so I want to make sure I give them a shout out, completely without their permission. So this is the set. Aramis, why don't you point us in the direction? What's the first card you want to kind of go over?
Well, I guess I'll go a little MTG Finance here. And I'm super stoked that they're throwing these very powerful reprints into the set.
Okay.
Cards like Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. The rumors, the leak that we talked about last week has essentially been confirmed card for card.
Right.
Pretty much every single card that this person leaked has been in this set. There's a couple notable exceptions, aka Lightning Bolt and Birds of Paradise. We haven't seen them yet, but we still got time. And there's always a chance that maybe they show up in Jumpstart.
Well, why don't you tell people about Ugin in case they're new? Because, I mean, it's not a standard card. Yeah.
It's not a standard card. You're right. So, for those of you who haven't played in the last few years, Ugin the Spirit Dragon is probably one of the most powerful planeswalkers that was ever printed, just in terms of raw power. It's an 8 colorless planeswalker, starting with 7 loyalty. So, I mean, that's already super hard to deal with. +2. It deals 3 damage to any target, so you have a lightning bolt on a stick. -X, you exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors, so you got a really nice board wipe. And the ultimate, which I actually don't see used too often because people usually scoop as soon as Ugin hits the board.
Yeah.
-10. So you -10. You gain 7 life, you draw 7 cards, and then you put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield.
So it's basically like, hi, you now win. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, I've just cast, 7 things for free, which under normal circumstances would win the game anyway. But Ugin can win the game by himself anyway, just by, lightning bolting your face or exiling your board.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and go through one of the 97 different variations of Teferi. Obviously, this set is about Teferi, but we've only seen one Teferi Planeswalker so far, other than the Planeswalker deck one.
I think we're only going to see this one.
I don't think so. There'll be another one.
There's 31 or 41 different ways you can get this card.
Yeah, but I think they'll do another one. I think they're going to put another one in. Because don't forget, it's the rare that's the most powerful right now. But Teferi, Master of Time. So for 2 colorless, 2 blue. This is, I can't believe this is real. This was the spoiler we heard, and the damn thing is fracking real. You can activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time, on any player's turn anytime you can cast an instant. And it's not once per cycle like we were suggesting. No, you're basically plus 2ing it every cycle.
It's a 2-player game.
Yeah.
Imagine Commander.
Oh, this will be in my command, and they're saying this in the chat room right now. Everybody's talking about like they should just call this Commander 21 because holy shite. You may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi anytime. It's +1 ability, and it only comes in at 3, but yeah, it goes up 2 every turn. Draw a card, then discard a card. Typical Teferi. -3, target creature you control or you don't control phases out.
Phasing's back.
Phasing's back. God damn it. And then -10, take 2 extra turns after this one.
Oh, it's so good.
You love that. It's a control player's dream right now. And here's the thing, man. It's already up to $40. It's like, give me a break, man. This is you're gonna find this one though.
So here's the thing. So there was.
I like what. Look what
Teferi
Steve just
5.
said though. I wouldn't be surprised to see Titans anymore.
You know, I don't know if there's enough Mythic slots left. There's already a bunch.
Oh no, they won't put them in this year. It'll be next year.
No. But you think about it, there's Teferi with the 5.
Yep.
There's 3 fairy. I've heard people calling this one Tefori.
Okay.
Does that work? 3
Probably.
fairy, Tefori, and 5 fairy.
Hey, yeah, probably. That'd probably be the way I'd go with it.
All great. Imagine putting all those suckers together in a historic deck.
Oh, the flavor! Come on, you haven't said anything about flavor yet.
This one's just delicious soup.
So what do you want to go to next?
God, the mythics are so good. You know, there's new planeswalkers for Liliana and Chandra. There's a brand new planeswalker. I guess we'll talk about him. Basri Ket. He's from Amonkhet.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, he was super devoted to Oketra. So I guess the backstory was, ever since he was a little boy, he idolized Oketra and everything Oketra stood for, and all he wanted to do was pass her trial of solidarity. He did that, got Oketra's arrow as the prize, and he was so happy about it, he sparked. And that's sort of like the planeswalker equivalent of creaming your pants, I guess.
I guess.
But yeah, he sparked, wandered around the multiverse for a bit, came back, and his world was destroyed because of the Hour of Devastation. Whoops. Finds out everything he'd ever believed in was a lie. Oketra was dead. But he's decided that, you know what? I'm not going to let that keep me down. I'm going to spread the message of Oketra around the multiverse and help people out, which is cool. That's awesome. So anyway, the actual card, since that's all anybody really cares about, he is a colorless and 2 white for a 3 starting loyalty planeswalker. +1 is put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. You don't even have to control that creature, by the way. It gains indestructible until end of turn.
Yeah.
-2. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, which is pretty cool. I like that. His ultimate is very interesting. I like his ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
-6. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
And yes, Zach, this would work with Winota. Yeah, here's the thing. You know what? Honestly, I kind of take a look at him, and you know what I really think? Like, take Basri away. I think they were trying to force in a new planeswalker because he's a Johnny.
Well, he's taking Gideon's place.
He's a Johnny. It reads like a Johnny. Puts a 1/1.
Yeah,
Huh?
But he's more the martial master, so he's more taking Gideon's place.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. He is making soldiers instead of cats, but and
also that -2 would not work with Winota.
No, why not?
Because they're already attacking. Winota only checks when you declare attacks.
Right. True.
So when they're already in and attacking, it's the same thing with Mentor or with.
I thought he was talking about the soldier token, creating a soldier.
You know, like if you brought in Drakuseth with Ilharg, you don't get the extra damage triggers.
Yeah. True. So
Still good, though.
still good. Works for me.
Still decent.
So I'm going to go ahead and take one of your favorite cards because you're right. I mean, this card should have been reprinted a long time. Actually, no, I'm going to skip that. I'm kind of looking. This is kind of interesting. Rin and Seri Inseparable.
That's our
The
box.
cat
My box.
dog. Yeah, the
By the
dog
way-
cat.
By the way, all hounds are now dogs.
Why can't wolves be dogs? You make wolves dogs, and now all of a sudden, the Simic Flash becomes a freaking monster. But yes, so Rin and Seri Inseparable. Whenever you cast a dog spell, create a 1/1 green cat token. Whenever you cast a cat spell, create a 1/1 dog token. Pay a red, green, and white color and tap it. Deals damage to any target equal to the number of dogs you control. You gain life equal to the number of cats. Kind of fun. I mean, it's nice to see them keep. Every once in a while, they keep trying to bring tribal back. This one, I can kind of go with a little bit.
This one's cool. He's
Yeah.
cool. It's the Buy a Box promo.
Right. So, I'm
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. It's like I'm just looking forward to that. I think that'll be a fun little. I mean, it might see a little bit of play.
Maybe, yeah. It's Naya, so I'm not sure if there's any Naya decks floating around. I'm actually surprised you haven't talked about the green mythic yet.
Oh, which green mythic would that be, sir? Garruk?
The Elder Gargaroth.
Oh yeah, I saw him earlier today.
Now, I'm going to talk about his stats, and I'm going to talk about what people are saying about this card right now, and I kind of agree, but we'll see. Anyway, this is Questing Beast's cousin. He is a 6/6 for 3 and 2 green.
So 5.
He has for 5. Yep. So 6/6 for 5. He has vigilance, reach, and trample. And whenever it attacks or blocks, you choose one. You either create a 3/3 green beast creature token, or you gain 3 life, or you draw a card. That's a lot of abilities.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put him in my keyword deck, my keyword commander deck I just got.
Yeah, well, there you go. He has all the keywords. So the thing that people are saying about this card is, on its face, all kinds of power. Crazy good and limited. Probably won't see play in standard.
I don't know. I think
Doesn't have haste.
it doesn't have haste.
Costs
However,
5 mana.
uh,
It's expensive. It's a little
Stompy,
pricey.
ramp and Stompy, man.
Yeah, you can get ramped in, but you got basically you have to the one shell that people are talking about building this in is obviously it's going to include Questing Beast, because why the heck would you not include Questing Beast?
Right.
It's going to be some sort of a Gruul mid-range creature-y. I forget the name of the enchantment that gives your guys riot and haste.
Oh, Stomping or
I had it in
Stomp.
my head and I lost it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, something like that, or football, the cycling card
Yeah.
that gives something trample and haste. You give this thing haste, and it's insane. If you get to attack once with this, it's great. That's the problem, is that you have to get the way creatures are now is that if they don't generate value on their own, either by an enter the battlefield ability, a die ability, or they have haste or something, they're not really worth it. This one doesn't do anything when it comes down. Like if you're going to spend 5 mana in green, wouldn't you rather just cast Nissa?
Yeah, that's true. Or you could spend 3 black and 3 colorless for one of the best cards ever. Massacre Worm is coming back to standard. So you put Massacre Worm and Massacre Girl in the same set. Yeah, that's God dang it.
This is she's like, this is Fluffy. Say hello to Fluffy.
Yeah, it's nice. It's going to be good to see it back. I mean, it's a good card. It's fun to play.
I don't know if it'll see that much play though.
I think it will. I think Massacre Worm's a classic. People will want to work it in just because. You know, people are just going to want to work it in just to be, because it's Massacre Worm. You're like, I want to play.
The one that I like.
What's one?
The one that I like is it was a $250 card because it was never reprinted. It's from Portal Second Age, I think it was the second Portal set.
Masters Edition 3 and Starter 99.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Starter 99 and Masters Edition. And Masters Edition 3 was only on Magic Online.
Right.
So it's only been in paper once before, and that's Grim Tutor.
Yep.
Colorless 2 black sorcery, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, lose 3 life.
Yep.
That card should see play in a lot of decks.
I mean, a lot of what they announced is reprints during their event last week. I mean, you and I went both nuts for the same one. Azusa, Lost But Seeking.
Yeah, as if they need more ramp.
Yeah, I mean, give me a frickin' break. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, ramp is ramp, and ramp is good. But I mean, and the fact that they're bringing Kamigawa cards back, okay. But yeah, that card's gonna see play because ramp is everywhere. So
Everywhere.
And every. And another one I really am excited for that I think is going to break things. Mangara the Diplomat. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or a planeswalker you control, draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. Again, in ramp, good card.
Well, I mean, it gives white card draw. I mean,
Yeah.
That's something that they don't really have access to. So
And lifelink. And it's
Yeah.
only it's a 4-drop. Now, it's only swinging for 2, but I mean, it
think
outlives Bolt.
Yeah. If Bolt comes back, it's bigger than Bolt. And I don't see this in a deck that does a lot of attacking. I could see this like in an Azoria shell as an extra outlet to draw extra cards. Like maybe you bring it in the sideboard against mono red. It's got lifelink. It can block dudes, gain you some life. Oh, you can attack me with some guys? I'll draw some cards. Thank you.
And not just that. I mean, Dream Trawler,
Yeah, it gives you extra triggers on Dream Trawler.
which is always fun. So,
Yeah.
and the other one I would want to talk about, this will see Commander play. Chromatic Orrery.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. You may spend mana Zote or mana of any color. So it's Chromatic Lantern on a stick with also 5 colorless mana when you tap it.
Yeah, tap to add 5. It does cost 7.
Right.
So you have to be able to. I would say that you have to find a way to cheat this into play. But hey, they do have refurbish.
Right. So what else are you seeing?
I guess I'm gonna go with the card that I think is probably the best card in the set so far, and we'll talk about it more in combat.
Okay.
But I'll just talk about it real quick now. Spoiler alert! Even though these are spoilers, it's a common.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's you got all these crazy mythics, you got all these great planeswalkers and everything, but the card that I like sort of harkens back to the olden days when the card frames had just changed to where they are now. We were visiting a little plane called Mirrodin, and there was this very innocuous, very innocent little piece of equipment that rhymes with Skull Clamp. So, no, they did not reprint Skull Clamp. They're not that stupid. Although I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that anyway. But
Yeah.
the card, I believe it's right now the only version that we have, I think, is either in Spanish or Portuguese. And I believe the translation is Village Rights.
But this is saying visit from the in-laws.
Yeah, but Scryfall is always very tongue-in-cheek when it comes
Yeah.
to their translations. And if they don't know what the card actually is. So it's a instant for 1 black. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Draw 2 cards. Now, sacrifice decks are going to love this card.
Yeah, and it is Village Rights. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, sacrifice decks are going to love this card. You could do Sultai ramp decks because here's the thing. It's an instant. So, all right, it's your 3rd turn. You've got 3 or you got 4 mana on the board for whatever reason. You were able to ramp into 4 mana on turn 3 because, that never happens with ramp. As long as one of those is black, you tap your green, your blue, and your other color to play Uro. Trigger on the stack, Village Rights. You sacrifice Uro because it's going to die anyway. So now you've gained 3 life, you've drawn 3 cards, and if you have a land in your hand, you can put it into play for 4 mana.
Right.
That's not bad.
And, I mean, this is also... I mean, what's really kind of annoying to me is, like, what they gave toys to already had the best toys. Like, just what we need, another damn sacrifice card. Like, that deck needed fracking help. All right? Like, we needed more ramp. That's what everybody sitting around is saying. Boy, we need more ramp. I mean, it's
Well,
just...
think about this, too. Claim the Firstborn.
Yeah.
Pay a red, you steal their little dude, pay a black after you attack them with it, and then sack it for 2 cards. I mean, that's incredible.
It's ridiculous, and it's frustrating in some ways. In that they're just not. It's almost like they're not thinking. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, of course, it's going to go into a white deck, or a sack deck. I mean, it has to.
Any deck that's playing any kind of creatures and black, you're going to see this card.
And I mean, it's interesting too because I mean, now stepping back from previews and featuring cards, have we seen the preview yet about choose dragons or cons? And I know it was like a spoiler.
I don't remember anything about that.
I thought there was something that's like oh no, that's it. Baneslayer Angel. All right.
Yeah, Baneslayer.
Protection from demons and from dragons.
Yes.
Okay. And now we have a new dragon, Gadrak the Crown Scourge, in this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are they going to go to... I mean, well, we're going to Zendikar. So...
Yeah, there could be demons. There's demons in Zendikar.
Right. And I'm wondering if where we're going for the second set's probably... They wouldn't take us back to Tarkir, would they?
They could. It's entirely possible. They said they want to go back to Tarkir someday. Doesn't mean they have to do wedges.
And Steve's asking about See the Truth, which is somewhere. Did it find it? 1 for 1. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's
it's a one in a blue and a colorless. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And if you cast a spell from anywhere besides your hand, put all 3 cards into your hand. So it's kind of... what was that card in Ixalan for a while?
Chart of Course?
Yeah. It's Chart of Course, but casting it from your graveyard. Better. Yeah. Oh, it's infinitely better.
Yeah, if you have a way to flash this back or cast it for free out of your library or something, it's draw 3 for 2, which is very, very good. I don't know. I mean, I think it should see play. It's almost like an impulse ability. So let's anticipate at sorcery speed. If you can't cast it, if you can't cheat it.
Right.
But if you can cheat it, it's draw 3.
And I mean, I keep seeing them kind of trying to build the Izzet Phoenix. Well, no, the Izzet Phoenix deck. Like, we almost had it back when we came here to Ikoria. Like, people were playing around with Izzet Phoenix again. So, yeah, and Runed Halo Walt was like, yeah. Like,
Runed Halo is a good reprint. I mean, Faith's Fetters is a good reprint.
Well, Runed Halo makes me wonder, are we going back to Cop? Like, are we going to get a Cop white, black, red, blue, green? I mean, and we haven't seen those in forever, have we?
I don't think, no, we're not going to see the Circles of Protection, I think, ever again.
Okay.
Because it's too easy to completely lock someone out of the game with those now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's just the answers, the threats aren't as good, or it's too hard to deal with a 2-cost enchantment that has a colorless activation because they don't do a lot of damage prevention anymore.
No,
I mean they are coming back into protection, but I don't know. I don't really see them doing COPs anymore. Runed Halo is probably going to be as close as you get to that. I mean that's one step away from reprinting True Name Nemesis, and that was a headache.
I do want to say thank you to Wizards for Containment Priest. Like, I'm done with Sacrifice. I'm done with the damn cat oven. And they're like, here you go. Merry Christmas.
Well, it also shuts off Winota. It is still legal in Standard.
Yeah. Right now, I think Winota...
And that actually also puts Containment Priest in Modern, because it was never in Modern before.
Right. I think it will be... I think Winota is... Winota, if I was to put a card... right now in Standard that has the biggest target on it, it's Winota, which is saying something.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's kind of, that's kind of most of what we got. We'll save some for next week, obviously, and the week after. I mean, we didn't talk about Liliana, but she looks, yay, it's another busted Liliana. Yay, yippee, skippy.
Good card. Another good card. This core set is, again, it doesn't look like a core set. It's like someone was saying, it's like Commander 2021. But there's tons of good reprints, tons of good cards. They're like, you know what? Core set's not tied to any plane. It's not tied to any story. Let's just throw a bunch of good stuff in a set.
Right. And that's okay, I guess. And it is. I mean, it's supposed to be like the jumping on point. So,
Yeah, and also too, it's to push strategies that are about to rotate out.
Right. And that's just it. I almost wish they would put core at the start of rotation. Like, if you want it to be something that brings people in, put it at the start of rotation. Like, have core trigger rotation. Like, then, but I get why they don't too, so.
Well, it's going to be the set that's in the rotation the longest.
Core? No.
Yeah.
Core's in the shortest. It's coming in. Yeah, this core. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. If it became the first one, it would be in rotation for 2 years, and we'd have 2 core sets every year. Yeah. So I get that. So, all right. So let's and that's just it. I mean, let's talk about a little bit about the state of standard, because I mean, standard definitely had a change this week. We saw a lot of we had the big banning from Agent of Treachery and Fires of Invention. Mm-hmm. Again, I think Fires was a misstep, but what are you going to do? Agent, nobody can argue with that. I mean, that was just, yeah. But looking at it now, I mean, state of standard is pretty. Things have kind of shaken out. We didn't have a big event this weekend, did we?
Not really, no.
No, so, I mean, things just kind of shook out on their own. But if you take a look at MTG Goldfish, which is where we're at right now, I mean, and they break down the metagame for the last 7 days, and this is post-rotation, mind you. Jund's Sacrifice is running away with it. It's freaking ridiculous as it stands right now, and I've got it up on my screen, so let's just do that. As things stand right now, it's, what is it? 33.3% of the meta right now is Jund Sacrifice.
Yep. 1 out of every 3.
Literally 1/3. And the closest one after that is Bant Ramp with 11.11, Jeskai with 11.11. Now, some of this might be because they removed Agent, so, they really don't have full numbers yet. But, yeah, I mean, Jund is just, oh, God, that deck's annoying. So... Yeah,
it's also very good.
It is. Well, I mean, the toys it got with Ikoria, I mean, the Serrated Scorpion helps it. Fiend Artisan is ridiculous. Loris does let you bring the stuff back that you sacrifice.
Yep.
I mean, it just, and they're not even playing Loris as a companion. Like, they're smart enough not to do that. They're actually just playing it as a 3-of. So...
Yeah, I think this is one of the situations where the change to the rules actually hurts the companion, because this deck is very low to the ground with its mana costs, and it doesn't really want to take a turn off to bring something into its hand when it can just cast 2 or 3 other permanents and start, milling them through.
Right.
So I can understand them playing Luris as a enhancement to the deck, but not like a linchpin.
Well, you wouldn't want it. I mean, it does run low to the ground, and there's nothing over 3 anyway. Like, they could conceivably. Yeah. But,
it's taking a turn off to do it.
Yeah, and that's just it. You're taking a turn off to do it, and you're also kind of giving your opponent that information. Like, again, like I said last week, the companion mechanic being what it is now, it's free information for your opponent. Like, this is what you're going to expect to see. You kind of already have an idea. It could be one of any number of decks, but don't get me started. So, yeah, this deck is just, it's running away out loud. Now, again, we're still seeing some companions out there. The next 3 decks, they do have a companion. Again, I think the meta hasn't shook out yet. I'm not seeing them win. With all right, Azorius Control might be there, like we said. Yorion and Azorius Control is a really decent card. But I could see them going away from... I mean, Bant Ramp, it would be nicer if you could, be assured of your lands. But you also get more toys. I guess I just don't understand why you wouldn't just make an 80-card deck. Like, skip the companion and just make an 80-card deck.
Well, because normally, if you're making an 80-card deck, there's no payoff for the loss of consistency. Whereas with the companion, pretty much everything in here either has a come into play ability or the blink is helpful to.
Right.
Because, who wouldn't want to bounce something with Teferi, then reset it, or reset Nissa, or reset Narset, reset Uro, get it back in your graveyard, get an extra, reset Elspeth Conquers Death, or the Omens.
Right.
Otherwise, playing an 80-card deck, you're like, all right, like I got all these extra cards, but I'm not going to really get a payoff for them once I cast them. I'm going to get the one use, and that's it. And Yorion gives them an extra kick.
Right. And, I mean, rounding out top 5, Team Wreck, we knew that was going to happen. That's at 9.72. It's tied with Azorius. So, again, I think the numbers are a little skewy. I'm really surprised Mono Red isn't higher.
I think there's two. I think there's other decks that are just flat faster. Jeskai Cycling is faster.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is weird because it's a 3-color deck, and you'd think a monocolored aggro deck would be faster because it's more consistent. But all that cycling, especially the 1-mana cyclers, it's just it doesn't ever have to worry about its stuff getting countered because it can just cycle it all.
Right.
And it just has to resolve one Zenith Flare for 13, and you lose.
Right. So, I mean, obviously Mardu Knights was a loser in this one. Aramis, your voice got deeper. Mono White Loris took a hit. Amori Creatures took a hit. Like, Amori Creatures that's going away. Nobody's going to play that anymore.
Amori's useless now.
Yeah. So, I am surprised at the lack of Winota, per se, in the top 5.
There's not really a consistent payoff for her yet.
No.
Nobody's figured out the formula for her in standard.
Right.
It can be done for sure, but I think I don't think there's enough. There's nothing like an Angrath's Marauders that she can fetch, because Obosh only does odd converted mana costs, and there's really nothing else that she can. She can't grab that anyway. I don't know if she's ever really going to take off in standard, and if she does, Containment Priest is going to be waiting for her.
True. So, yeah, that's that. Jund Sacrifice, again, what would you hit in this deck? If they were going to try to make this so that nobody was using it, I mean, what the hell would you hit?
I don't think anything there is ban worthy.
Nothing is. I mean, how do you beat it, though? I mean, it might just be the deck to beat. It just might be the number 1, and,
Ugin will take care of it if you live that long. Containment Priest will handle it.
All right. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Massacre Worm actually would be really good against it.
Massacre Worm would be good against it. Well, board wipes in general.
Yeah. You keep the board under control. If you find a way to remove their artifact, the oven, it becomes a lot less consistent.
Right.
There's ways to combat it. It's just right now it's the clear-cut best deck. But again, like you said, the metagame only changed about a week ago. Give it some time. I've seen some interesting brews floating around.
Right.
So, I mean, things will change.
All right. Well, you know what? And that's going to bring us, and some of the best cards from Core 21 might help. So let's get into that. Okay, Aramis, we're going to pause for a second because guys they're mentioning it, and I'm actually getting an echo off you. Like, I hear my own voice occasionally come back over my headphones.
Let me see if I can change.
Is the Discord going? Are we broadcasting in Discord?
No.
Yeah, but your voice is deeper. I might have you jump out of the Zoom call and come back.
Hang on.
Okay. Oh, there.
1 second.
Yeah, but your voice got legit, like you started to talk like this.
I don't know. I wasn't doing anything different.
No, that's what I mean. It might just be like a Zoom, like...
Yeah, maybe it slowed me down or something.
Yeah. So what I might have you do is pop out and then just come back and see if that fixes it. So just close out of Zoom and come back in. We'll hold for a minute because then we'll go right into combat. So. Okay, now it's just me, but there's 2 of me on your screens because of how we're doing OBS. So do I sound okay out there, guys? He doesn't drink. Hello.
Okay. Is that any better?
Not really. You're still kind of deep. That's weird. We can live with
my voice. Maybe it's just my voice today.
No, it was weird because you were normal for a while, and now you're like, it's very strange. Like when you go to listen to this on the thing, you'll definitely hear it. Like if you go watch the video. I mean, I'm sure you're recording fine. And you're still recording, right? So timing's good.
Yep.
All right. I'm sure you're recording fine. So, all right. So we'll come back in here in a minute, and I'll start the combat. So, all right. So we're at 4150. All right, combat. So, like we like to do when it's preview season, Aramis and I are going to go to town on which set we think, or which card we think in the new set's going to be. Is it the most impactful or just the best card?
Could be any combination thereof, like something you think is the best card or the most broken thing or something along those lines.
Well, I like to let you have the first dibs, so bake her away, toys.
Well, I mean, I kind of already spoiled what I thought the best card in the set was that we've seen so far. I think it's the Village Rites.
Yeah.
I think just the instant speed interaction. I mean, it acts like a counter spell if someone tries to remove your creature. You're like, oh, you're killing my guy? I guess I'll draw 2 cards instead. Or, I just stole your dude. I'm going to punch you in the face with it. Oh, I'll get some more cards off it. Thank you. Granted, it's only 1 activation, but it's a Skull Clamp activation at instant speed, and we all know how fair Skull Clamp was.
I think you're right. I think that's going to be a card, but it's hard for me to go against Ugin. I think Ugin is going to have such an incredible impact on Standard, like just having Ugin in play, having Ugin be a part of the meta game again, and the real Ugin. I mean, he's been here since War and Spark, but to just have him be back to, I'm excited for that. I think Ugin's probably at this point. I think Ugin's even better than Teferi because he's explosive. It costs 8 to get out, but we're living in an age of Bant Ramp with freaking Azusa and Nissa, for God's sake.
People have been talking about turn 4 Ugin a lot in Standard coming up.
Yeah.
What do you do against turn 4 Ugin?
Nothing. You cry.
There's really nothing. I mean, you have to have Murderous Rider.
Or the D-Spark. Or
the Eat to Extinction. You have to have one of those cards right now.
Yep.
Or else, guess what? Ugin go eat your board, and then your face.
Yeah. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I think Ugin's going to have a really, really powerful impact. I think I think at this point he is the best card in this set. Again, I like Teferi. I like that he brought phasing back. And I love Spark Hunter Masticore. Like, that card just looks fun, and, you're going to have to put it... Yeah, probably, but I don't see any reason... Yeah, it's a sideboard card against pretty much any Planeswalker deck, so... like I said, Teferi's good, Liliana's good, the other Planeswalker's good, but Ugin is just... It's Ugin, for God's sake.
It's Ugin, yeah. I mean, there's a reason that his regular card is like $60, and his alternate art is like $200 and something crazy like that.
I mean...
This...
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say that you're absolutely right. I mean, I think we're going to be in agreement with a lot of the cards that we pick because the power in this it's absurd. I mean, if you're playing Simic Ramp, you're going to be like, and imagine if Birds of Paradise end up showing up in this set because you're going to go land Bird, land a Sousa, 2 more lands, and then you're going to friggin' Growth Spiral or Cultivate into another couple of lands, and then hey, look, Ugin.
Oh, don't forget Paradise Druid, so she's hexproof, so you can make sure to get 1 kit off her. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or then bring. All right. Yeah, you get it in turn 3. Bring in Chromatic Orrery. Because turn 3 you could have.
That's too cute. That's too cute. You're trying to get too cute at that point. I mean, if you're gonna spend 7, why not just wait it a little extra longer, go 8, and just.
What's that?
You wait the extra little bit, you go to 8 mana instead, you cast Ugin, you win the game.
Yeah. I mean, Ugin, I think Ugin's going to be, he'll be in almost every Standard deck at this point. I mean,
I don't know about that.
What do you got going in an 8? What do you got going in the 8 slot?
That's the thing. How many decks can really afford to play?
I know.
8?
Yeah.
He's going to go into Simic Ramp or Bant Ramp, and I think it's going to be one of those 2 shells, or both of those shells, really. And you're probably going to see like 2 copies of him, and he's just going to. Oh God, it's going to be disgusting.
Yeah. So I mean, it's weird. It was like a combat. I think I won, or mono green ramp.
Also too, or you could do Sultai Ramp, and you could start ramping cards, and if he's not in your hand, you can Grim Tutor for him.
Yeah.
It's oh God.
Oh yeah, you're right. Steve's right. We still have the ley line of the blue, like that's gonna. Or no, that lets you flash it in. What's the green one?
Oh, ley line of. Jeez, I forget. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, yes, so you still have Nissa too. I mean, both of those are
Nissa.
rotating.
I mean, you get out Nissa turn 3. All right, if you can ramp into Nissa turn 3, you can get Ugin out turn 4, easy.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people are talking about, is that it's not even going to take that much of a god hand to do it.
No, you've got the Gilded Goose. You've got, if we get Birds of Paradise.
You still have Arboreal Grazer.
Yep.
Paradise Druid.
You hate Arboreal Grazer.
It's over.
Yeah. If Birds of Paradise comes in, it's going to be ramp for ramp and ramp, and then followed by a side of ramp. Yeah, I think Ugin right now is the clear front runner of what we've seen. If Birds is coming in, Birds and Bolt coming in, that's going to be a tough road. And that's just it. Again, I'm looking through this. Red, not a lot of fun. Bolt Hound. Bolt Hound's good.
There's some interesting stuff in Red, though. There's a couple of really, I think, I don't know how good they are, but there's a couple of really fun cards in Red that I like.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to...
Well, I don't know. I like Chandra's Incinerator in a mono red deck.
That's what I mean. In mono red, I just don't see... I mean, Incinerator, I guess.
I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it, Chandra's Incinerator is a 6/6 elemental for 5 and a red, so just let me finish, because yes, I know
it's on the screen.
And mono red don't care about that. So it says this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of non-combat damage dealt to your opponents this turn. He has Trample. And whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Incinerator deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker that player controls. So all your direct damage spells can go face and still kill their dudes, and then you have a 6/6 trampling body on top of it, which could theoretically only cost 1 mana.
Theoretically.
And it's not that hard to deal 5 damage in mono red. That's not, especially if Lightning Bolt comes back.
Well, yeah. And here's the thing. I mean, and Steve puts it best in the chat. He's like, Bolt and Bird with this set doesn't seem far-fetched. I wouldn't put Mana Leak, Giant Growth also. Here's the thing. All right. Massacre Worm, didn't that just get something, either historic release or... No, they were talking about putting it in historic last year. That's right. It was going to be in the first historic set.
Yeah, they were mentioning, wouldn't you want cards like this? Little did we know. Like,
and Birds of Paradise. And I mean, they've put a Birds of Paradise in Secret Lair as well as Bolt. I could see it now. Like, well, I'm like...
I mean, the leak said that Bolt and Birds were in, but that they pulled Birds at the last minute. I don't know if there was enough time to actually do that, but every other thing this leaker has said has been true.
So we may not get the Bird, but we might get the Bolt. Well, they took away Lightning Strike from us last year. I mean, we haven't had a good, a good 3-for-2 in a while, let alone a 3-for-1 would be amazing. But, we haven't had a good 3-for-2 in a while, and so far we haven't seen Shock. And Shock was 20. So Shock could be going out.
Shock is the quintessential burn spell. So, I mean, if they reprinted Lightning Bolt, it would be an uncommon.
Yep.
So I have a feeling that they're holding that in their back pocket for another couple of days. But, I mean, from if this guy is if he's going to have a perfect score on this, the only thing he was wrong about so far was the starting loyalty on Teferi.
Right.
But if you think about it, he really wasn't, because he said it was a 5, and he basically has a 5.
He does, because he can do it. It goes to 4 and then 5.
+1 on my turn, +1 on your turn. There's 5.
Yep.
So he was essentially right. So
and if Wizards was smart, if they were going to do the Bolt, they should have announced it today, because today the Bolt is the Secret Lair. Like, why you wouldn't announce it today? You know what? They probably wouldn't, because people would be like, see what you're doing now, ha ha ha.
No, they're gonna wait until people buy the Secret Lair, because Bolt is going to be like a $1 uncommon. Why do I want to spend $30 on 4 bolts when I can spend $4 on 4 bolts?
You're not wrong.
I mean, that you already can. But now there's going to be, if they do that, there's going to be even more bolts on the market, which is good for everyone.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about getting the summer set, and then I'm like, I could get the summer set or another box. And I was like, I'm going to get another box. So, yeah, I'm looking for, I think Guggen's going to be the thing. Next week, that could change. Again, if Bolt and Bird come, I would say the two of them together are, the story of the set. But as things stand right now, I think combat was pretty good. I think we both got our licks in, but let's go ahead and get back into, main 2 here.
Main phase.
All right, main phase. So we wanted to talk a little bit. There's definitely been some movement today in regards to Arena. Like, we like to talk about Arena in main 2. And today we had a pretty big Arena day. So the first thing that we'll talk about, and you know what, we'll go backwards. The first thing we'll talk about is Reed Duke just tweeted a little bit ago, 2 days ago. He said, in a move that's, to the best of my knowledge, unprecedented, WotC has made ghosting and outside assistance illegal for the online Players Tour. I'm happy we can shift from discussing ghosting as a sportsmanship issue to simply calling it cheating. To those asking if it's enforceable, good question, but it's not the only question. As a competitive player, I don't enjoy having to choose between feeling scummy and feeling like I'm not playing at my greatest advantage. Now it's easy. Just follow the rules. So, ghosting, for those of you that don't know, it is not when you stop talking to somebody on Tinder, okay? You're still allowed to do that. WotC doesn't care if you stopped talking to your girlfriend on Tinder. But ghosting is when you log into Twitch to watch the stream of somebody else you're playing and to try to get the card advantage to be able to look at their hand. And WotC's going to try to enforce that rule. Now, how are they going to do that? I have no idea. I don't know how you enforce it unless you're going to be screen sharing, with, but then they could be on their phone. I mean, everybody's got more than one device.
Well, I think one thing they would do is, and that they could do now. I don't know how they're going to do it during the actual Pro Tour events or Players Tour events. Sorry. One thing that a lot of people do now is they have mods in their chat. People that have been following them or watching them for a long time, they give them mod status. And the unfortunate thing is, for a lot of the people that ghost, they're not terribly bright because they'll use the same username as their Magic Online or Arena account as their Twitch name. So it's like, dude's in the chat and he's playing you now. Wonder what's going on. Right. So they have the ability to kick or block those people. I imagine,
and now report them.
And now report them too. And I think what they would probably try to do during the Players Tour events, I imagine there would be at least one member of WotC staff or a judge sitting in the chat on both sides.
Right.
And watching the stream, so they can be like, oh yeah, I see what's happening here.
Well, watching the stream, watching the cards, and even, to the extent of like, okay, his right play, if he doesn't know the other guy's hand, I mean, you could put people there that would be like, this guy is consistently playing the exact card he needs to play to win. Like, what are the odds of that happening,
It would really only be one person on each player's side, because obviously if they're ghosting it, they could see what the other person is doing. Right.
So Reed, I'm glad they did that, though. I'm glad there's a rule for it, because it should be bannable. Because we're going to, mainly an online only system, you have to have something like that in play now, unfortunately. So I'm glad they did it. But the other big news, and this is 100% breaking news, so. And now, breaking news. So earlier today, I think you told me right around 3:30, 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Yep.
WotC came out with an unexpected B&R, outlining that they, as of 5 o'clock, I think Eastern time today, they were suspending Winota in Magic Arena for historic.
Yes.
That is, first of all, it is unprecedented. They have banned things before, but they always did it in concert with another established B&R.
Or they give you a week's notice at least now.
Right. With this, though, and it was the right call. I mean, anybody who's been playing Historic, unless you're playing a Winota deck, you pretty much faced Winota all the fracking time. It was a constant. You had to do it. So I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they've gone ahead and suspended it. I'm glad they're doing it kind of like they got to use the flexibility that comes with that for, to be able to do that. So I, for one, am very happy that they, did that. What about you?
Well, I mean, I have yet to play Historic, but what I'll do is I'll read the first paragraph of what they were of the announcement. And they said, since Ranked Historic returned in late May, we have been closely watching decks using Winota Joiner of Forces. The early data for this deck showed it to be both popular and strong, but since the deck was so new in the format, we wanted to allow some time to see how the rest of the field adapted. And though the field has recently shifted due to last week's announcement, the data show that this is not significantly reducing the performance of the deck. In fact, with the data now available, we see the popularity roughly doubling since its emergence, and the win rate remaining problematically high. Decks using Winota Joiner of Forces currently represent too large a portion of the Historic metagame, and the quality of enablers and payoffs in the format means that this is unlikely to change without further action. Because of this, Winota Joiner of Forces is suspended in Historic. Now, what suspension means is that for the next 30 days, you can't play with this card. They're going to evaluate, look at the data, make a decision. After the end of 30 days, they're either going to take it off the suspended list or ban it. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, totally put my neck on the line, and say they're going to ban it.
Oh, yeah, it has to be banned. And I think when they do it, they're going to do it, and they're going to do, what do you call it, too? What do you call it? Damn it, what am I trying to think of here? They're going to do the Field of the Dead, too, because that is in almost every deck.
I don't know. I mean, because they've never done this, where they're like, hey, you've got 2 hours notice. This is going away. And I don't see them doing it twice, because people were not happy that they weren't told of this. Because one person made a very good point. If you're someone who's free to play, you don't spend any money on this game, and you have a very limited number of wild cards, you were maybe holding back on building a new deck until after the latest, because you heard about the new ban and restricted coming out in a week. Like, all right, let me not craft anything. Let me wait till the banning is over. The ban happens, you're like, oh, good. Okay, Winota's safe. Let me craft some Angrath's Marauders. Let me craft some Winotas. Let me burn these wild cards. Oh, wait, Winota's banned and Angrath's Marauders not being played anywhere else. I just wasted these wild cards, and I have to wait a month to possibly get my wild cards back.
Right.
If you're someone who doesn't play a lot and doesn't have a bunch of wild cards, and you spent whatever wild cards you had to build this deck, now you're kind of screwed. And I do understand that frustration, and it does suck. But like you said, though, the flexibility of them being able to do this, I think overall is good for the format. It's good for people, because they know that if there's a problem, they can squash it quickly. You're not going to be stuck with it forever. But on the other side, like I was saying, if you're someone who doesn't play much and you invested in this deck, you're kind of SOL for a month.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see here. You're not wrong. I think it's good that they're doing it. I'm glad that they're doing something, a little bit more. I like that they're a little flexible, because being online gives them that ability to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they didn't have to ban pieces slowly like they did with Hogak or with Oko, and just be like snake.
Yeah.
Give it a month and then see what happens.
Exactly. So. All right. Well, so that's what's going on there. We've got some housekeeping to do here while we're in main 2 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and see if by any chance I made this visible. So we have some housekeeping to do, because I realized that we haven't done our June drawing yet. So, and hold on a second. Yeah, let's do this, and then I'm just doing some show stuff. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to try to get on the screen here. I'm going to try to get on the screen an ability for us to be able to take a look and see who's going to win our drawings this month for online. And yes, we will definitely do the Play My Deck here shortly. I haven't heard from Ian about his deck, but that's okay. We did reach out to him a few times, so hold on a second. There we go. Oh, good. It came right up. All right, so I have in here our... Can you see the screen there, Aramis?
I can't, but
okay,
it's fine.
Well, I have on our screen right now, I have Anthony, Steve, Ian, Walter, George, Josh, and Zach. So those are our 7 Planeswalker levels. If you're a mana level, you would also be entered in to play my deck, but since we don't have any manas, then we're just going to go on with the 7. So the first one we're going to draw is for the Play My Deck. So you'll have to give us a deck list. Aramis and I will do a cast. So let's see who wins this. And it's Walter. Walter, send us another deck. This guy constantly wins. So
Got the golden touch.
He does too. My goodness. So, all right. So Walter, you cannot win the next one. So I'm making a new rule on that because it would be boring otherwise. All right. So I'm hitting remove, and he's removed. Hey, that's cool. It removes it. Whoa, we're gonna remember this name, this site. All right, here we go. So it's between Ian, Josh, Steve, Anthony, George, and Zach. Here we go. This is to play us online on a stream. Anthony, congratulations.
Nice.
So Anthony's one of our newest patrons, and he already plays with us every week. So Anthony will play anything you want in Arena, historic. You can do a draft with Aramis. I think it's your month. So you can do a draft with Aramis. You can do constructed. You can do whatever you want. But, that's in addition to our, Commander. We got to come up with a really cool name for that, by the way. So, because, that's fun. So there we go. So congratulations, Walter and Anthony. You guys, Walter, send us a deck list. You've done this one before. We'll tear it apart and make you cry. We will do yours too, George. I have not forgotten you. So, and don't forget about Wednesday night. Now, listen, guys, if you're a patron at any level, you are welcome to join us. All right, we're looking for a 5th and a 6th. Now, what we want to do this week is, it's take a pre-con and jigger with it. So mess with it a little bit. Not too crazy. Don't be putting any $2,500 cards. Certain somebody
Definitely
I know.
Not me. Definitely not me.
I'm not going to say who, but, and you know what? Let's make another rule. Why y'all have to come after me? Just because I won 2 weeks ago. Like last week, they all ganged up, and I was the first one out. Actually, we were all being a little friendly last week. Everybody was.
No, last week was very nice and cordial. It was
very
chill
friendly.
for like the first half hour.
Yeah, and then it was actually a good hour. It was pretty chill, and then all of a sudden the shit got real.
I got the last laugh though. That was nice.
You did. So
the deck from the year before beat all the new pre-cons. It was very nice.
So definitely Anthony and Steve are in because they were in with us last week, and they're going to kind of be, I think they're going to be like our Colin and Ryan from Whose Line Is It Anyway. It's always going to be those two guys, and then we'll rotate other people. Because they seem to enjoy playing with us, and they take things well when I insult them. So I'm a big fan of that. So make sure you tune in on that. We don't have any new iTunes reviews this week. I will do a drawing for that later. I edited the deck. Don't worry, I didn't overdo it.
That makes me more worried.
Yeah, Mana Crypt, here we come.
That is not soothing at all.
I won't steamroll you like I did with Riel. Asshole. I didn't say that out loud, did I? I thought I was muted. Anyway, moving on.
Just drinking a soda.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we've done pretty much everything else we were going to do, so why don't we go ahead and get into... Okay, so we want to thank you guys for listening. We're at end step now, so me and Aramis, we're going to start rolling up our playmats, putting our cards back in the boxes, taking our pizza boxes over to the garbage, because damn it, your mother still doesn't work here. But we want to remind you guys before we go tonight that both Aramis and I do stream on the PlanesTalkers podcast channel on Twitch, and actually now everything goes on Twitch. The live broadcasts are on Twitch. When we do Commander, we got to come up with a name for that cast. All right, you know what? That's a contest here. Next week, send us emails. We want to hear from you guys. What do you think the Commander should be called? And it can't be something that's already out there. So I know there's a Commander cast and all that. So Somebody give us some cool commander names like ED Holy Shit. No. Yeah, we have to be able to put it on a shirt. But we want to thank you guys for that. We will be we do stream on the PlanesTalkers podcast channel on Twitch. Look us up there, PlanesTalkers Podcast. You can also follow me on Twitch at MindCrime73.
You can also follow me on Twitch at ArmecWRX, although I really don't stream on there very often. And when I do, it's going to be on the PlanesTalkers podcast channel anyway, so you're going to find me there. But if you want to follow the show on Twitter and keep track of us that way, you can find our show at PlanesTalkerPod on Twitter.
And my personal Twitter is at WR Benson. Now listen, I don't post there very often. 9 times out of 10, I'm just there and I'm like scrolling through and I'm following because I'm a really big fan of the band Simply Red, and I just really, really love those ginger motherhuckers right there. So, you know, I follow them on Twitter, and that's really why I'm there. So, but I do occasionally post stuff. So, but at WR Benson, and of course you can always follow us on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/PlanesTalker, like and follow our page there. It would be really great.
You are one sad, strange little man.
I keep coming up with obscure bands from the 1980s.
I've never heard of them.
Simply Red? Oh, yeah, you would. I'll find you music. Maybe it'll be our background for this week's Commander or whatever the hell the name is going to be cast. Yeah, oh, my gosh, that's the name of it. Commander, whatever the hell the name's going to be cast.
Okay.
That could be on a shirt.
Good, I suppose.
Says see other shirt at the bottom.
See other shirt at the bottom. If you want to send us an email, and I'm not sure why you'd want to after that.
Oh, dear Lord.
But if you do want to send us an email, and even ask for advice in our Ask Aramis section, where you can ask me, how the heck did I get stuck with this guy? But other than that, I can offer you tips on anything from deck construction to limited choices. And if you want to send us an email, maybe even just to tell us how the show is doing, if you have a suggestion for us, our email address is podcast@planestalkerspodcast.com.
I got to get a ding, 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 ding sound effect because I think Steve might have just won. Commander Craft, and we bring a craft beer every week. I love it.
That works for you guys.
Yeah, you could bring a craft root beer. All right, well, it's still on the drawing board. The contest is in full effect till next week. So, and winner gets naming rights and a chance to play with us, whether you're a patron or not. I do like Commander Craft though. That's like our front runner. Oh, I do like that.
We'll see what folks come up with.
We'll see what folks come up with. So I want to remind you guys that, this week was my season finale, but I'd love you to check it out anyway, especially if you go to like the last 10 minutes of the podcast. I host another podcast it deals with a television show, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. It's called Legends TV Talk. I'm also going to be streaming with them doing something called Flashcraft, which is basically we're building Star Labs in Minecraft on survival mode, which is harder than it sounds and annoying as hell. But you can find us there. The name of the podcast is called Legends TV Talk. You can find that wherever podcasts are found. And listen, if you could, go into iTunes and leave us a review. We'd like to read them on the show. We do a drawings occasionally for Arena Pack. So please go there, leave us a review. 4 and 5 stars are really requested because, they do help the show. They bring eyes to the show. Our numbers keep going up there. So really thank you for that. It's really, really good. It's really, really important. If you don't have an iPhone, you can easily just download iTunes to your computer, go through there, sign up for an Apple account. We really appreciate the extra steps, but it so helps the show. But we really want to thank you for that. But that's going to bring us to, our night here. So we want to thank you guys again for hanging out with us tonight. We had a great time. We will be back next Monday at 8 o'clock dealing with the podcast, recording our next episode, as well as Wednesday night for Commander Craft. Oh, it might actually stick. But we'll have a Commander cast this Wednesday night. We'd love to have anybody there, so feel free to stop by. You can find us on our Discord or email us at podcast@planestalkerspodcast.com. But for Aramis Perez, this is Will Benson saying thank you again for listening. Have a great week. Stay safe, and remember to leave some of your mana untapped because you never know when you'll need it. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye. And stop. Oh, good. This time it actually saved the recording.
This is 63, correct?
63. So, export project as audio file. And, oh, wait, I want it to be, well, yeah, I should export them as separates.
Case, right?
Huh?
Just in case, right?
Yeah, because I might. It's the Stream Deck is great, but it doesn't allow for like changing volume very easily through it. So I got to remember to keep the Stream Deck app open on my phone on my computer. But yeah, because I do like to pot it down when we start talking a little bit and start bringing it down a little bit. I guess I could build one that does that. I just who has time. But let's see. So this is episode 63. Ep 63-Will. Export. And I think it's doing the whole damn thing. So we'll see how it goes. Walt could be coming home next Monday. Oh, that's awesome, Walter. Congratulations. Welcome to our post-show wrap-up. So, this is great. Anthony may want to use my account for his game with you guys. He's free to play, so he has basically nothing on Arena. He's more paper. Yeah, so definitely good idea. Yeah, let him do that. That's fine, Steve. And you could be sitting over his shoulder helping him if you want. So, yeah, I think this is your month, Aramis. I'll let you take him. Maybe you guys can just do draft with him, if he's got any tokens left. Yeah. So,
it's possible.
All right, let's see here. So that's downloading. Yeah, Wednesday's good. I like Commander Craft. And people in the chat are saying Commander Craft. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that's so good.
PlanesTalkers Commander Craft, which I could build a wallpaper on that and all that stuff. So.
Especially if we keep doing like it was like a pre-con, then we edit it, or just keep doing new things every week or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think Commander. Yeah, I mean, we could play Standard. I like playing Commander on Wednesdays. I think Commander's good. I don't think there's a ton of people doing it.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Commander.
Yeah, we can come up with different ways to play it. There's that Oathbreaker format, which I've heard about too, which is kind of like a Planeswalker Commander.
Well, I mean, they just changed the rules with Commander, so I want to get used to the rule change before we start.
Yeah, the death trigger is actually triggering.
Yeah, Chalabalara, yikes.
This is gonna be fun. So, all right, let's see here. This is still mixing down. I got to remember to remove that part, which I have written down here. So, are you putting your thing up in Dropbox?
Yeah, it's already on its way.
Yeah, because I think not using BeLive, you seem much more stable, except for that slowdown thing. That's weird as hell.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's almost like your computer's processing power is like slowing your audio. You should hear, like, when we get done with this, go find the audio recording, listen to the beginning, and then go about 30-40 minutes into it, and you'll hear it. They'll be like this. It's very strange.
Maybe it's just the other personality finally coming out again. I was suppressed for a few years, but haven't been able to go to therapy in a while.
Oh dear Lord. Okay, so and we're meeting up tomorrow, you and me down there, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So
yes,
it'd be nice to see your face.
Kerwin's opens tomorrow.
Kerwin's opens tomorrow, and Aramis and I are going to be there for a little bit. They're actually kind of taking care of us. They officially want to sponsor the Commander Cast, so like we'll have Kerwin's playmats and sleeves. So
it's an extension. It's an extension of this podcast.
It is, and believe me, I actually look forward to playing with you guys on Wednesdays.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Like I never get a chance to play Commander. Now that I was interested in it, because the first time I played, you never guess what Benson played. Atraxa.
Oh, that was awesome. So, hey, listen, guys, if you go to kgsonline.com and buy sleeves and mats and use the PlanesTalkers code, that does help the show. Like, and even put there in the notes, be like, we play with Benson and Perez, and you know what I mean? Just go to town. So, let them know. That's why we encourage you guys to use that code. It tells Kerwins that they're good in sponsoring us. So, please, feel free to use them as often as possible.
Yeah, and they're building their online catalog, so you'll be able to get singles. They're trying to do backwards in their catalog with sets,
Right.
as well as keeping up with the new stuff coming in on top of all the other new stuff that they're doing. So yeah, show them and us, and by extension them also again love.
Yeah.
Whenever you can, if you have another LGS that's like right next door, I mean, obviously support them too, but throw Kerwin some love.
Yeah, throw some love. I mean, they really do a lot for the show, believe it or not. So, all right, I think your thing's up there. So, I will see you I'll see you tomorrow, sir, and then we'll see the rest of you Wednesday night. Steve, Anthony, we'll see you guys Wednesday. Walter, go down to Walmart, get a deck. You can come play with us at 5:00. Or wait, we start around 7:30. So yeah, around 4:30 your time. Go get a Commander deck. Get your ass. You're more than welcome. Same with anybody else here listening to us right now. So you guys have a good one. We will talk to you next week, and we'll see you Wednesday. So